Alright, so hi guys, welcome to another day or night, or if you're watching this in the future, whatever, attempt at Art-O-Ween, where I am trying to do a different kind of video, not always art related, but most of them going to be the best I can. Uh, leading up to Halloween, because I love Halloween, and I hope you guys do too. And I'm also an artist. That is my full-time job. I love being an artist, and I also love answering questions and yada yada. So let's get into it. So this is a tag. Not a lot of people do tag videos anymore, but I really enjoy them. This was a tag I more so saw on Twitter, so I will have the original image on screen right now with their at, because I genuinely have no idea how to say that at, but hopefully some of you guys do. So anyway, long story short, let's get into the questions, why don't we? The first one is, when did you start drawing? I started drawing, like many people, since I was a kid, but it really was since I was a kid, but I had a certain experience happen to me in middle school, I'm in America, where it was the first time I actually had like a kind of semi-professional-ish art class, and I had a traumatic experience happen within that art class, which, trust me, it will not be a story time on my channel. It's one of those personal things that I'm not comfortable really sharing online. And so something like that happened, and I genuinely gave up on art for a long period of time. And I focused mostly on role play, writing, and I mean, I was also in middle school, so I had other issues going on. But when I got into high school, what ended up happening was my freshman year, I ended up meeting other friends that were artists. Because for the longest time, I did not have that many friends and or almost no friends growing up. I say that because one of those things that you realize when you get older, because, hi, if you didn't know, I'm an adult. I'm a grown woman. But no, I'm literally 28, turning 29 this year, in the year of 2021. But you realize stuff as you get older, where you're like, oh, were we ever really friends, or were we more acquaintances because we were like in class together kind of situation? But needless to say, I was the only person I knew of that did any kind of art. So when I went into high school and I met other people that were artists like myself, it really got me inspired to start drawing again, to work on characters again. Because the most I did at that time would edit Naruto screenshots in MS Paint into my own roleplay characters, where they used to be called RPCs, whereas they were roleplay characters. The joys of really, really old, cringy Naruto YouTube. But I was there. Oh boy, howdy was I there. But that really got me to working more on drawing, and then as I worked on that, I took more art classes in high school, and then I went on from there, and now here I am now. Number 2, why do you like to draw? It's just something I've always enjoyed doing. I love these kind of vague questions and these things, but it's just something I've kind of always done, and I remember seeing a quote somewhere that said, like, every child starts off as an artist. The only difference is we didn't give up because a lot of people just stopped, and a lot of people don't realize that there are multiple ways to be an artist. Like, a lot of people think you need to do literally everything. And then you have other people who feel like, oh, well, what I do isn't art, when it very, very much is. So I like doing art because it makes me happy. It makes me happy, and I like making other people happy with my art. It's one of those things that gives my brain the good serotonin juices. So the next one is number 3. What is your favorite drawing style or styles? I used to be obsessed with an anime type art style back in the day. Not so much anymore. I do still enjoy some anime here and there, but for me personally, it's just not really my vibe. I have a lot of friends who draw like a more anime type of style, or like a semi-realistic one, and that's good for them. I enjoy their art. I love their art, but it's just not really the thing for me. I more tend to go towards like more unique styles to people. That sounds so mean. I didn't mean it that way. I guess I would just, if I had to like boil it down, more like Western cartoony styles. But even then, I don't like a lot of the like really soft roundness of a lot of like modern cartoons. I sound so edgy. I'm not trying to. I swear that's not my intention at all. I just grew up on very thick, bold lines. That's why it's in my artwork. I love the Four Fingers from the Futurama, Simpsons, 90s era of, shows in the early 2000s. That's why I put it in my own artwork. But I also love like the cartoony realism of Disney work. I like mixing a lot of that into mediums as well as other things I like. I'm a big fan of Jonan Vasquez, of Crooked Glasses, of like Dino Lich or Dino Lich, however you say their name. But it's something that I just love. It's certain styles that just inspire me, as well as like almost everything my friends do. They inspire me as well. So I pretty much like most styles. I guess I'm already contradicting myself here, but I like this might sound weird, but when I can tell like an artist is genuinely passionate about what they're drawing, because I've met people that just draw stuff like to make money, which there's nothing wrong with, but I just can tell there's not really like a passion or a heart to it sometimes. And again, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to ruin that artist's day because I think that's rude. But it's one of those personal things that I've talked to other of my artist friends about, and they kind of like also agreed with me on this. So I like when I see an artist's passions in their work, I guess I should say, for a favorite drawing style. And then number 4 is your favorite artists or idols. Well, I already kind of said that, didn't I? Look at me, egg on my face. So pretty much, let me try to do a rapid fire the best I can. Bewitched Ink on Twitter, Crooked Glasses, Dino Lich, Jonan Vasquez, Barachan, Loish or Loish, however you say her name. I really like Brianna Garcia. I'm trying to think of people that aren't my friends because like my friends' artwork inspires me too. So like all of my friends, obviously, but I think that would just have to be the ones at the top of my head that I can genuinely just pop off with. So, as for idols though, I don't really have any art idols the older I get, because I'm slowly starting to realize that when the artists that I enjoy don't really have their personalities out there online, like a lot of other people do, and they like just post their art, I try not to dig, because then I end up getting, vastly disappointed because I find out that they are like a terrible person or has done something terrible or has terrible points of view. So I kind of like to just be like, you know what? I like your stuff. Don't want to know much about your personal life. That's just kind of how I've gotten, because I'm like, I don't want this thing ruined for me that brings me joy, so, because the world's kind of full of terrible people out there, so, the next thing I have is number 5, your proudest words, your proudest artwork. My proudest artwork, I would have to say, would be a commission I got from the Zodiac Lord, and I'll put it on screen right now because it's the most characters I've ever drawn in one image. I got to work with really fun lighting. I got to mess with kind of a background, not as detailed as other things, but it is something I had so much fun with, and this was also done as a commission for our YouTube D&D series that's on his channel. So if you guys want to, listen to us do D&D, we have all that there. But that was something I really enjoyed. And then I think another one that I'm really proud of is this one I did in like 2018. It's my rendition of See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, and I'll pop it on screen right now. I'm actually in the plans of redrawing it because I do love it. I just want to tweak a couple things here and there. And so I'm going to be really excited for when I have the redraw done. But this is like one of my favorite pictures I've ever done, and it's one that like almost always does well at cons, so it makes me very happy. But if you guys want, I do believe I still have this version up on my Redbubble store, so if you want to like buy it as a print before I do the redraw, it'll be up on my Redbubble, and my Redbubble's also TwistedDisaster. So yeah. Number 6, which piece took you the longest? I'd have to say that same commission, the one from the Zodiac Lord, with just all the characters and the details in it. I genuinely don't remember how long it took, but it's definitely the longest that it's ever taken me in one sitting to do. Now here we go. Ooh, here's a fun one. We get to have a comparison for number 7. And I'm making myself edit. Look at that. So number 7 is your first artwork versus your latest piece. So here we go. We're gonna have my first one I could find online digitally, and one of my newer ones. Look at that improvement. Just look at that, guys. Very proud of that. So thank you. That's what happens when you give up at one point and then you get it back and you just never give up afterwards. So the next one is number 8. Where is your art portfolio? My art portfolio is in my Linktree link down below. I have multiple places. I do not technically have an official website for like a proper portfolio, but with what I currently do, I don't exactly need one. So the closest thing would be DeviantArt. I would have to say, because at least it's a whole section to do it. I also have, currently there's not much on it. I have redone my Tumblr page for my artwork, because in the great and naughty Tumblr purge, a lot of my old art Tumblr got nuked. So because of that, I decided, you know what, whatever. And I hadn't actually been on Tumblr in a long time. But I will admit there are some ways that the Tumblr formatting and ways you could have your blog can be kind of helpful. So I, again, don't have much on there, but if you find TwistedDisaster on there with like my banner and my icon, which is the Bones icon that I currently have, then that is me. So I will be using that. But other than that, for art portfolio sakes, again, I'll just go with currently DeviantArt, or I would say that Tumblr. I don't have an exact perfect place yet. So number 9 is the best compliment you've ever gotten. Was that a friend of mine told me I had a very like gothic Tim Burton-esque like Invader Zim type of inking style with my more recent artwork, and it's got like a slight horror vibe to it, even though I have like cutesy artwork. And oh my god, it made my day. It made my day so much with that compliment, and it is something that I think about every now and then. I'm like, really hit home. Because if you didn't know, I'm also a big horror fan. I don't get to do a lot of horror art, but oh, it made me so happy. And now, number 10 for a question is traditional or digital? Why are we still having this debate? Both are good. Both are valid. For me personally, I would prefer digital artwork just because I can do more with it. That's just me. So, number 11, line art or coloring. I used to be purely coloring, but over the past year since I've been working on my line art, I kind of like my line art a lot. So honestly, I'm 50-50 now. I used to be a pure, nope, gotta have colors, gotta slap it, gotta do it. But I really like my inking and how I've been doing my line art and call myself absorbed. I'm proud of my stuff that I worked on. And so now it's like more of a 50-50. Now, here's we go. Number 12, draw OC, draw fan art. I do both. I also sell both. Haha, cough, cough. But, for the first time in my life, ironically enough, this is the first time that I've actually, like, not had much of an urge to draw a lot of my characters. It's not that I don't love my characters. I do. It's just, I think I'm finally at a place with my own art where I'm confident in doing fan art to where I don't dislike it. Because for a very long time, whenever I would do fan art for things, it never looked like the thing I was trying to draw fan art of. You know, it was like, I felt like I was drawing like characters cosplaying those characters over like the characters in my style. So I've been on a huge fan art kick recently and I am loving it. I still love my OCs. So for me, again, I'm kind of now a 50-50 compared to what I used to be. Number 13, any insult you've got. Ooh, okay. This is one that always stuck to me, and I think it was so funny. I don't get them so much anymore, but a while ago, I used to get them a lot on my YouTube. They were not, I shouldn't say a lot, as in I got them, like, I got an overwhelming amount of them, but I did, for a matter of fact, at least once a video from some random person I would get the, your artwork sucks, but I like your opinions, and I was like, thanks. How do I improve from that? But it's one that I got a lot, and after a while, I'm like, okay, I guess that's why you're here, whatever. So, there's an insult I've had. Other than that, I've just had stuff like, oh, your anatomy looks whack, back when my anatomy was whack, you know, and so it's stuff like that. So I'm just, I haven't gotten that many bad ones. Number 14 for question-wise is your views about copying. Depends on what that means, because that one's a very vague one. I'm gonna go with just copying is like copying other people. If you want a job in the industry and you want to work, like with like a big publisher or a big thing, you're gonna have to learn how to copy, unless you get really, really lucky and you can become, you know, you can get a show pitched or a comic pitched where you're not doing everything yourself. You're gonna get hired to copy other people's art styles and to follow a pitch bible to have a job. So there's that. Now, with that being said, I think it's very different when someone commissions someone for something like that, in a more like private sense. You know, it's one thing if you're at a con and like a big comic convention or something, and like you're getting like an artist from the show to draw something in the show's style. That's very different. But I have had people who have asked me in the past, and I don't do this anymore, when they were commissioning me, they'd be like, oh, hey, can you do this but in another artist's style? Hey, can you do that or another artist style? I've even had some artists come to me and say that they had people commission them, and they asked if because their prices were cheaper than mine at the time, if they could copy my style for a commission. And no, I think that is wrong, especially when it comes to like an indie artist with a more unique art style and you're making a profit off of it. I think that's very, very bad. Working for an industry, very different concept. If you're being an indie artist trying to rip off other indie artists, I think it's gross. When it comes to like the basic tracing debate, though, don't beat yourself up. Comic artists trace models all the time. Like the Clip Studio Paint has a whole like thing with the posing models. Artists, professional and not professional, like they trace backgrounds and assets all the time. I've even seen like tacks of like, you know, to make a character's house, you make it in The Sims or something, and then you just trace it in multiple views, or even what was it? Lavender Town did a video a long time ago where she was making like landscapes and stuff from Minecraft screenshots. Like that's a whole different ballpark. But yeah, that's my views on it. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully. Number 15 is ever want to quit? Yeah, there was actually a very long period of time where I really debated if I should keep doing this. And I do mean like all of this, because there was a lot of stressful things happening in my life at the time. And I actually was looking for other work, and I was looking for things, but the jobs that were lining up were just not equaling out to the amount. I was even at one point, because I have no shame in saying that I was looking for part-time work. I don't think there's anything wrong if a person, you know, needs to live and they can't do art all the time to, you know, pay their bills and make a living. I think that's also a very dumb thing to like judge people or get mad at people about, because sadly we live in a capitalist society where we need to eat, we need to pay our bills, and you know, for some people art doesn't do that. So I was looking for part-time work to like kind of even out my workload a little bit for a while, and all the places that I had gotten interviews for and gotten callbacks for, after doing the math, the money wasn't even worth it. I wasn't saving money in the end. I would have been losing money. So that kind of made me stop. But honestly, if there is ever a time where my current venture and business isn't lucrative, then yeah, I would have to quit, sadly, because I have a life. I have pets to feed. I have a husband. My husband and I eventually want to have kids. And again, I don't think there's any shame in that. Will some people be disappointed? Yeah, but we do live in a really good age now where a lot of artists can live their dreams with things like Patreon, Ko-fi, you know, people buying support, people buying from their online stores, people buying commissions, people supporting things, supporting artists in free ways that still give them money so they can do things like that. And I think that's all, you know, really important to talk about. And the fact that there are also artists that they're, you know, living the high life, they're doing great, but the stress and the stuff isn't equaling out to the money, and they just need to quit for their own mental health reasons. And I think that's also really reasonable too. So for me currently, do I ever want to quit? No, I love my job. I love doing this. I love creating art. I love doing that. But if stuff happens, I still have bills to pay. So you gotta kind of just, you know, bite the bullet and do what you gotta do. So the next question is handling burnout. So I've made videos on this in the past of like how I handle burnout and stuff like that, but the long story short of it is unless I have like a deadline due, I kind of just let the burnout simmer so I can rest, because the whole point of burnout is when you're overworking yourself and not enjoying enough to like keep going. I was talking to a friend of mine recently about this, where I kind of have a little routine now, and that's helped me a lot with not having burnout. Is I make sure, and I've been also going to therapy, so I've been talking about having a better work-life balance. I am in no way perfect. My sleep schedule is constantly out of whack because I have insomnia, not fun. But I do my best to have like me time to make sure that I'm not struggling and working so hard that I'm like breaking myself over the bone. I that saying doesn't make any sense, Michelle. I don't know where that came from. I'm not working myself to death, I guess I should say. I don't know where that phrasing came from. Great analogy, but that's how I've been handling it. Is I just haven't really had burnout because I've been able to work better on myself. But I have again made videos previously on my channel. Just have fun, go check them out for like art block, burnout, and stuff like that, where I give some tips and tricks for that. So let's go on to the next question. Number 17, your inspiration. I'd have to say the same thing as before. What inspires me is literally like movies, books, music, shows, role plays, character development, working on things with my friends, D&D, almost anything. I get inspired by little things and sometimes nothing at all. But that's kind of what inspires me. And other than that, just other people's works. I really like absorbing creative media, and that helps a lot. So yeah, let's go on to the next one. Number 18, fave place to draw. Honest to God, so my friend the Zodiac Lord told me about this because I do almost all of my artwork now on my iPad Pro unless I'm working in a sketchbook. And oh my God, he told me, he's like, the best thing, man, when you have your iPad is just sitting back in a chair with like a pillow in your lap and drawing on your iPad. And I was like, what? No way. And then I started doing it and I'm like, oh my God, he's so right. And that is my favorite thing to do. If I'm not streaming or anything with just how my setup is, I love to just be able to sit on my couch, have something on my TV, play with my cat, pillow in my lap, and just draw. Just go at it. And it is becoming my favorite place slowly. Slowly but surely. So yeah, that is my current favorite place. If not, I do love my desk. I also like going to, because the panini is slowly getting better. We're still in it though. Don't think that it's just gone, but things are getting better. I also really like going to like a coffee shop or a bookstore if they have seating, and just like getting out of my house and my environment to work. So that's also a good place. Number 19 is recommended art supplies. So long story short, for my sketchbook, any sketchbook, really, it all depends on people. I'm a texture person. I like a certain type of paper. For my like sketching, for my again sketchbook, I use like right now currently, because I have moods. I currently use a basic number 2 pencil, Pigma Microns, Prismacolor liners, or some like leftover SP liners from Copic that I have laying around. I love alcohol-based markers for my sketchbooks. There's a reason why everyone likes them. I have a Hoo Arteza and like some leftover Copics for mine. As for digital recs, I still really recommend a Huion tablet, even though I don't really use one much anymore. Huion is really good with computers. I really love my iPad Pro though. I'm probably not going to go back from my iPad Pro. It's like my baby now. I finally get the hype. And then a basic Apple Pencil is just what I have. But obviously, not everyone can afford an iPad Pro, and I totally understand that. That's why I totally recommend a like Gaomon or a Huion, or I've heard X Pen's really good too, where they're really good and affordable, and they can work with like almost any computer, like, and even like iOS. Some even work with phones and stuff. So yeah, hope that that helps with that. So the next one is number 20. Subjects or landscapes? Moi, subjects, hands down. I draw characters way more than I do landscapes. Want to work on landscapes and backgrounds, but I find all of my enjoyment in characters. So next one is pencils or watercolor? Watercolor all the way. Nothing wrong with colored pencils, or I think they're called like pencil crayons in other places. I love me some good watercolor. I don't know what it is. I've tried using other brushes and just nothing replicates like pure watercolor on watercolor paper. So that's that version of that. So number 22. What do you like to draw? My characters. Fan art for things I enjoy. I really like movies. I like drawing characters from movies and stuff. I really like fun expressions and like chibis, I have to say, are some of my favorites. So yeah, there we go. So there's that for that one, because I don't know how I can't make that one into a long depth thing. So Next one is, have you taken art classes? I have, as a matter of fact. I have taken art studio, intro to art, and then I had drawing 2, painting 2, drawing 3, painting 3, and AP art studio back when I was in high school. I already drawing 2 and painting 2 could be switched out for AP painting drawing. It's changed since I was in high school. I graduated in 2011, so because of that, like, I know like stuff changes how it's called. And then I took a single graphic design class in college when I was in my short college career. I do want to try, when things get a little better, again, with the panini, I want to try to do some figure drawing classes really bad. I really want to go. I know a friend of mine used to go to them, and so I would really like to give that a shot. But other than that, yeah, those are the only classes I've currently taken. So, number 24 is your favorite color palette. I will slap that on screen. That's my favorite color palette. You could probably tell from a lot of my favorite characters why I just like that color palette. Now, number 25. A piece you can't finish. Yeah, I can't think of one. Sorry, I don't know how to answer that one. I've eventually finished all of them, or I have like a mountain of whips that I'm just slowly trekking through. I don't really think there's ever been one that I haven't, like, unless you count sketchbook stuff, but I think that's a sketchbook, so it's not included for that. So I'm sorry I answered that question wrong. And now, number 26, can you draw blank? Yes, I can, because it's on screen right now, because that's whatever that is. So, woo! Another one done for Art-O-Ween. I hope you guys enjoyed. I had fun. I hope you did too. And thank you as always to my amazing Patreon patrons. I love you all so, so much. I hope you had fun. Let me know your guys' artist like questions and answers too. I love reading them in the comment section down below. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.